If you like stories about tackling corrupt HOAs or Karens who bring their kids to an adult pool section, then this video is just for you. Also, all videos are on my podcast. Search for the Austin Stories podcast or check the description for a free link to a crazy HOA story. Fraudulent HOA extortion, posted by Tam Lee. I posted on here a while back with perhaps one of the craziest HOA stories around. I'm dealing with a fraudulent HOA at work in my neighborhood. This group calls itself a neighborhood fund, but when the neighborhood was subdivided, there was no HOA covenant added to deeds, thus no mandatory HOA. It was started by a resident as a temporary 3-year fix to the right-of-way road and has never ended, expanding to all kinds of neighborhood concerns. Cutting down trees, no lanterns, too many cars, dealing with renters, and as a gossip email chain, nicknaming different properties with petty put-downs and a lot of other petty garbage. The leaders of this group outnumber the members by far. There have been about 7 different leaders. They hold the reserve funds and do a collection which goes directly into the leaders' private bank accounts, where they mix their personal money with the alleged communal funds. There are no elections, no articles of declaration, no financial disclosures. They use different email exchanges for people that they like and those that they don't to demand money, so it's never clear who is paying and who is not. We have seen communal funds being used to repair homes and driveways of the leaders of this fund. My family has refused to participate since 2012 due to what we believe is a misuse of funds. In 2016, I sent a certified cease and desist letter to the leader of this group, stating that the money demands needed to end. We began to be relentlessly harassed, where this leader started following us around the neighborhood when we were walking and honking her horn. We later learned that this fund and group actually is tied to the local town government in the small remote town where I live. The founder is the zoning board president and just keeps getting reappointed to that position for the last 15 years. 6 of its other leaders are all town planning and zoning officials. We have witnessed all kinds of kickbacks, with most recently 5 of this fund's leaders and members and their relatives being named to new created positions on the town board within the past 2 years. They have used their private email exchange to engage with their select members and non-board residents on local laws under current review, where the public is limited to 1 public session and so on. They have failed to recuse on issues brought by members of their HOA to the Zoning and Planning Board repeatedly. They get all special perks in government, such as private use of the community center when the public must pay a use fee, and help with grants and grant funding for their private employment. It's a mess. Last year, in June 2022, I had the newest leader of this group, a recently retired state official with a regional title, come to our private property and refuse to leave, delivering on us a personalized money demand. He was confrontational and argumentative when I told him to leave. He had previously trespassed twice on our property, caught on camera, and he knew he was not welcome on our property. I called the police, but the local police, or state police, in this remote region are also corrupt. They sent the relative of one of the leaders of this group, who happens to be a state trooper and also had lived in the neighborhood for a year, leaving 2 months prior to this incident, to take the complaint and to dispose of it. Flash forward to this May 2023, and this same individual/leader who demanded money brought a hired bulldozer and began digging up our driveway entrance and smashing our front fence so that the fence dislodged and we have a large hole in the slope of our driveway, which makes the car bounce and scrape. They have done this several times in the past as well. I videoed the whole event. I also have what I believe is a video of a white Escalade undercover police car passing by during the damage and before I called the police. The police refused to take action when we called to report the incident, and the supervisor told us that they were just pushing dirt around and they were just making a 3-point turn. He said this before they had even located the responsible party. They didn't even send a trooper to look at the damage. they didn't investigate, even though this was at the very least a hit and run. They have not given me the license or insurance of the tractor. In fact, the police officer assigned to the case told us that he couldn't find the people responsible, even though I told him it was the leader of the HOA. And he told me instead that he contacted a town government official and was evasive when we asked why. Since the property destruction, I have submitted a complaint to Internal Affairs alleging attempted extortion and detailing this unlawful slush fund being kept by town government officials. I am not sure Internal Affairs will do anything at all, and I may have to take this elsewhere. Sure, I can sue and may, but unfortunately, I have talked to 2 other families being similarly harassed by these town officials, and I learned that the county court is also corrupted. This is a very remote mountain region, and so things are quite corrupt and backwards around here. Legal fees to fight an HOA can be very high and prohibitive, especially if the fight is already an uphill battle. Not only do we have to fight this fraudulent HOA, but the corrupt town government and the corrupt police. I believe I have enough evidence, video, written records, and photos that they are attempting to extort us and that the way they are raising money is fraudulent since it is all undeclared. In my state, New York, mandatory and voluntary HOAs must file taxes and register as a nonprofit court where they then fall under review of the Attorney General. However, the Attorney General does not take up a case where the state is a party. They won't go against state interests, such as state police. I'm posting this if anyone has any advice or specific knowledge about extortion, fraudulent money raising, police corruption, and so on. Updates in the comments section. Ben Skywalker 70 asked OP, take everything, keep copies, to the state DA. Once you have refusal in writing, go fed. And OP replies, interesting, I didn't consider the state DA. Right now, it's supposedly being reviewed by the county DA, but my feeling is this person will not do anything. Next commenter asked, what are the odds that they're related to these same buttholes you've been dealing with all along? And they really meant the estate Attorney General. And OP replies, yeah, probably. I'm not from the US. I was meaning going above the DA that is potentially corrupt. I think I may have misspoke, probably meant the state Attorney General, going above your local DA. Another commenter says, bet they're not paying taxes, and OP replies, they're 100% not, but not sure the IRS would do anything. OP gives another update and says, I placed FOIA request. I know there was no body cam kept for the investigation part of my report, and I also have 30 videos of multiple police vehicles coming and going from my private road in relation to this fund, meeting with the fund's leaders. Unfortunately, where I am, there are no local police, just state police, as it is very remote. Sadly, the superintendent was just fired for corruption like a year ago by the governor. I thought Internal Affairs will probably do nothing. It just seemed like my hands were a bit tied since state police are governed by the superintendent. Not sure if Internal Affairs might be better for state police? I do think they will likely retaliate. I mean, I'm probably not as afraid as I should be. I have 10 cameras on my property. Luckily, it is a part-time place, so I'm only there a few months of the year. I have a pit bull and a German Shepherd. I actually really wish I understood a little more about keeping funds and laws around that. Like, is it illegal to commingle funds, or is it just considered not good or unethical? I don't know the laws regarding raising funds either. Like, is it legal to go to someone's door soliciting for an HOA-type entity? I know in my state, HOAs need to incorporate and file taxes, but this group keeps trying to claim that they are informal. I don't think this argument helps them at all, but I wish I had more financial knowledge because I think I would strengthen my case. I mean, in my case, the person definitely knew he was not allowed on my property demanding money and refused to leave. But I don't really know the laws on this more generally. I know like solicitors have to get permits in my town, and I've spoken to some lawyers and, to be honest, not all of them know the financial specifics either. It seems to fall outside of some of the standard specialties. Oh my goodness, OP, all I could say is like this is not something that a lot of people are experts in, me included, that's for sure, but I wish that you could go out to someone above them all, like you're saying to do, and reporting this fraud. Like, there has to be someone above everyone else in your local area. Although it's corrupt and it's bad, you can't go to them because they'll just brush it under the rug. If you can go more powerful, that is where your victory may lie. No guarantees because this is a horrible situation. I hope that and wish you could move away. Like you said, you're only there a few months of the year anyway. I know moving away doesn't feel like a win because they're continuing on, but sometimes you can just get yourself out of that situation. The best way to be out of a situation is to not even be there in the first place. OP, I hope everything gets better, and let me know in the comments what you think. Entitled mom thinks adults only doesn't apply to her kid at a resort pool, gets removed by staff, posted by Grimace for Eyes. My husband and I are currently vacationing at a 5-star hotel. There are 2 separate pools, one for kids and families, and then the Serenity and Quiet one for adults, where 21 and older is enforced. Both pools are very clearly marked as such by large signs placed around the perimeters of each. We've been here for a few days, and it has been literal paradise. We have not run into many families and kids, and those that we did see were exceptionally well behaved and attended to by their parents. Until today. We went to the adult pool and got set up on the 2 chairs. The pool was in front of us, and the hot tub was behind us. It was a tad chilly, so we ventured over to the hot tub where we saw a kid, about 7, playing with a crap ton of Star Wars toys on the steps. Call me a Karen, I don't care, but this set me off. We came to this resort specifically because of the 2 very separate pools with enforced rules. I want to relax, I don't feel like hearing screaming kids on vacation. So I went over to the attendant stand and I asked if the hot tub was for families, and if so, was there an adults only hot tub that we might be directed to? I knew the answer, I just didn't want to come across as too aggressive. I was told that the hot tub was, indeed, for adults only. So I proceeded to tell both pool attendants that there was a child in the hot tub and I didn't know if his parent was nearby. You guys, both pool attendants were basically like, heck no, and walked very fast over to the hot tub and told a woman who was apparently the mother, an entitled mother or Karen, of the child that it was adults only and they had to leave. The kid was told to get out. Crying and screaming ensued, and he and the mom then just sat on the chairs. But wait, there's more. After about 5 to 10 minutes, they were still sitting on the chairs in the adult area, and again, the attendant came over and informed them that the area was adults only, and they're not even allowed to sit there, even if they're not actively using the hot tub. Karen was ticked, angrily packed up their stuff, and both were ushered out of the adults area. I suspect they were there because the kids' pool area was super busy and Karen didn't want to deal with the other kids and or couldn't score a chair. We tipped the attendants generously on our way out and are already planning our next vacation here. I wish more businesses would realize that not everyone wants to commingle with families and kids. Now the best part is that this particular hotel has kids programming all day, a kids club, and the kids family and pool is actually much bigger and nicer than the adults pool. It also has kids water attractions like the ones you would see at a splash pad, a huge bucket that spills water, water guns, fountains and bubblers and so on. Why would you not be there? Oh, I know, because the mother is an entitled, selfish butt who didn't care about her kids' enjoyment or that of the adults around her. And it happened again today. We were at the adult pool again this morning, and a mother pushing a stroller with another kid in tow tried to sneak in the side entrance of the adult pool area. Not so fast. The same attendant from above stopped them and escorted them out so fast their heads must have been spinning. The kids' pool is absolute madness right now, with it being Mother's Day and there aren't many chairs left, so I'm guessing she thought the rules don't apply to her. This amazing attendant will be getting another generous tip today. An update to address a few common questions and comments. The resort was the Ritz-Carlton in Key Biscayne, Florida. Highly recommended. We will definitely be returning. Now what if the child is neurodivergent or has sensory issues? I honestly don't care. If the kid's overstimulated, he can be taken back to the hotel room for some quiet time, or literally anywhere else on the resort that's open and available to him. I also have sensory issues due to cancer treatment, and I'm not about to sit there and deal with someone else's poor planning. Not my problem while I'm on vacation, especially while there are multiple outlets and accommodations for children and literally only one for adults. And to the great comments, thank you to the parents who have offered their support and words of encouragement. The world needs more of you. I mean, the rules are the rules. If it says adults only, that means 21 and older. They don't have kids over there for a reason. And I say this as a dad. If the rules say no, then you have to go by no. All of the guests are agreeing to this when they get here, and unfortunately, this Karen did not. Way to go, OP, on reporting them, and let me know what you would do as well. HOA invades my privacy, so I lawyer up and ruin them for thousands of dollars. You gotta see the crazy fallout to this story, so click the video on your screen and I will see you there.